What if Persia won the Greco-Persian Wars? In our own timeline, the Achaemenid Empire, which came into existence as a direct aftermath of the Persian uprising led by Cyrus II of Persia, later known as Cyrus the Great against the Median Empire, was a truly dominant force. Cyrus would also conquer Lydia, Babylon, and the Indus Valley, and is known for his religious tolerance to other groups like Jews. Cambyses II succeeded him, and he is mostly known for using psychological warfare in his conquest of Egypt. Darius I, or Darius the Great, would bring the empire to its greatest extent. Unfortunately for him, the Persians were defeated by the Greeks in the Battle of Marathon, and he had to halt his campaigns. His son Xerxes, yes, the one from 300, would attempt another invasion of Greece, but while he did win the Battle of Thermopylae, he was defeated in the naval Battle of Salamis, causing him to end his campaign, which was then destroyed in Plataea. After Philip II, king of Macedon, united Greece under his banner, it would be his son Alexander the Great who'd conquer the once mighty Persian Empire and replace it with the Macedon Empire, which too wouldn't last. But what if that didn't happen? What if Persia won the Greco-Persian Wars? In this timeline, Persia wins the Battle of Salamis and crushed the combined Greek navy in a similar fashion like in Thermopylae. With that, all hope for the Greeks is lost as they were crushed on the land and on the sea. Fortunately for the Greeks, this is a historically accurate Persia and not one directed by Zack Snyder, and the Persians are lenient to the Greeks and allow them to freely live their lives and continue to practice their culture and religion, but end slavery in Greece. At this point, the empire was fairly stretched out, as it spanned from Cyrenaica in modern-day Libya to the Indus River in modern-day Pakistan, from Egypt to Dobruja. The Persians would just conquer the Illyrians and push their borders to the Danube and Alps to have better defendable borders. Meanwhile, in Italy, the Roman Republic would still rise to prominence by uniting Italy. After defeating the Carthaginians in the First Punic War, they take Sicily, Sardinia, and Corsica, and after the Second Punic War they take Iberia and give the Numidians Mauritania, only to then take the rest of Carthage in the Third Punic War. Rome ultimately unites the Western Mediterranean Sea and Persia the Eastern Mediterranean Sea, and nobody is able to defeat the other because Persia is too strong for Rome to defeat and Persia is too overextended to conquer Rome, and both have defendable terrain on their side. Roman history is still mostly the same. Julius Caesar would conquer Gaul and start a civil war, with Augustus becoming emperor. The 3rd century crisis still hits the empire, and the empire is informally split into 2 or 4, and Constantine the Great creates Constantinople near the Old Carthago. Following Theodosius' death, the Roman Empire is split into the Southern Roman Empire in North Africa and Iberia, and the Northern Roman Empire in Italy and Gaul. Eventually, the Achaemenidean dynasty comes to an end, and the Sasanian dynasty. Christianity might not exist without Jews being persecuted, and instead Zoroastrianism is a more prevalent religion. The Northern Roman Empire would still fall to the barbarians, leaving only the south behind. Under Justinian the Not-So-Great, the Romans would try to reconquer Italy, but just like in our own timeline, the Persians under Khosrow Anushirvan help out the Ostrogothic kingdom of Italy. The Roman-Persian War is a decisive Persian victory, and they almost fully push the Romans out of Africa, bearing Constantinople, and the Romans have to leave Italy. The Roman Empire is now only left with its capital Constantinople and Iberia. Islam still rises in Arabia, but the Arab conquests fall short due to a stronger and not exhausted Persia. Islam only exists in the Arabian Peninsula. With the fall of Rome and failure of the Arabs, the Persian Empire is the dominant power. Charlemagne would still conquer Germany, northern Italy, and even Iberia, and proclaim the Carolingian Empire that eventually splits into West, Middle, and East Francia, which become Iberia, France, and Germany. In this timeline, Europe adheres to the Roman faith, bearing the lands under Persian rule. Persia would slowly start to crumble as it is overstretched. Egypt and Numidia would declare independence, with Numidia taking over Constantinople, ending the Southern Roman Empire. Greece also declares independence, and Slavs conquer most of the Balkans. Persia is just left with its Asian holdings, which are then conquered by the Seljuks, who eventually settle somewhere in the Balkans. The Mongol Empire would also conquer Persia, and would reach out all the way to Eastern Europe. The Ottoman Empire would rise in the Balkans, but it wouldn't be Muslim. The Ottomans probably still conquer a lot of the Balkans, and might even push further to the west. While all of this is going on, Persia is still a great power, but a diminished one. Without the Silk Road being controlled by the Ottomans, Spain and Portugal, which don't even exist here, don't try to find a shorter route to India, and thus the New World isn't discovered for now. Iberia would be in this timeline significantly weaker without gold and silver from the New World, while Germany is significantly more powerful without the unholy Germanic Federation existing. The Crusades obviously don't happen, and thus the Northern Crusade doesn't happen. Finland and the Baltics are still pagan, just like the rest of Europe, and Prussia doesn't become German. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is still formed. Without Christianity and Protestantism, a 30 Years' War doesn't happen, and Germany isn't weakened in favor of France and Sweden. With a weaker Sweden, maybe an anti-Swedish isn't necessary, and so no Great Northern War. Furthermore, the Great Turkish War doesn't happen, and so these powers aren't delayed in their war effort, and so can quickly demand territories from Sweden. The War of the Iberian Succession would be a French defeat, and so Iberia stays with Germany. Maybe a political unification could happen, which would scare the rest of Europe. With colonialism in the New World happening much later, or not happening at all, the 7 Years' War doesn't happen. This means that the United Kingdom wouldn't end up controlling all of India, which is what turned it into the great power it ended up as. This also leads to no American Revolutionary War or French Revolution. The old feudal ways stay as they were, and nothing is really changed. Germany, the Ottomans, and Russia might partition Poland, Lithuania between themselves. Without the French Revolution, the Napoleonic Wars don't happen, and thus nationalist sentiment from the 19th century wouldn't have a breeding ground, and simply wouldn't exist, meaning it is fairly simple for empires to continue to hold on to their subjects. In case a world war does happen, it would be between the German-Iberian Union on one side and France, Russia, and Hungary on the other. Ultimately, I'd say that the German-Iberian alliance would come out on top. Russia would have to make huge concessions in the west, and France loses its east, and maybe also the south, in order to appease the British. Maybe the rest of France is given to London. Maybe World War II is between Germany and Iberia, of whom Germany would win and take everything not each of the parents. In this timeline, Persia is a great power in the Middle East, stretching out from modern-day Pakistan and Central Asia to the Levant and Anatolia. The Abrahamic religions of Christianity and Islam are either much smaller or non-existent, while pagan religions, like Zoroastrianism, Roman, Hellenic, Slavic, etc., are more prevalent. If you liked the episode, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.